and a genuine love for people. A natural galvanizer, she's known for her ability to see potential, build connection, and move ideas into action. Her greatest joy is building strong teams and communities where people grow, serve, and shine. So welcome. So glad to have you here, and I'll let you introduce Sarah if you were when the time is.
When the time is, who will be your star of the show today? So thank you, and yes, and I kind of caught you there in our name, and if you want to click on the first slide, I don't know if we can do that or not. There we go. So I caught you because we were known as the Greater St. Cloud Public Safety Foundation. And as of this year, we have changed our name, and we've done that for a variety of reasons. And I'm just going to quickly share about that because I think you need to understand how and why we have this Salem location that Sarah's going to do an amazing job sharing with you what it is and what it's all about. So the Public Safety Foundation, or has been known as the Greater St. Cloud Public Safety Foundation, started in 2015. And what was happening in our community, we were having a lot of crime and disruption on the south end of St. Cloud. And instead of just going in and patrolling the area, an officer actually approached our chief at the time and asked if he would be interested in going to Racine, Wisconsin, and understand what they do there and how they're patrolling and being officers in a different manner. And so because of it, Chief Blair at the time said absolutely, and he gathered a group of community members and officials from the city, and they took a trip to Racine, and they discovered that they're building these homes in neighborhoods. And when they put these homes up, officers are working out of these homes. And instead of being patrols, they are now encompassing or becoming part of the community. And they have now, I think, 7 homes in that area. And that's the corridor through Chicago, which is high crime, high drugs. And they have seen a vast change. So we came back, and I say we, I had nothing to do with this. I didn't even know this thing existed except almost a year and a half ago. But I'm in the boat now. And so we came back, and what they had told us is if you come back and do this, you need to start a foundation. So that is where the Greater St. Cloud Public Safety Foundation began. They tore down a drug house, built up a new one, and that was our first official community outpost, AKA Cop House, on the south side. With that, we also raise dollars, and we have scholarships. We give out scholarships to individuals going into first responding. So if you know of any individuals looking to go into EMS, fire, or police, we have scholarship dollars. And now our Chief Love, our fire chief, has just raised over $67,000 with Dancing with the Stars for women who are currently in first responding roles and who want to step up into more leadership roles. Our third pillar of our foundation is we support all first responders. And this is where we changed our name, and we felt it was very important because we wanted our first responders to know throughout central Minnesota, we're here to help and support you. So this is really important because that Greater St. Cloud kind of blocked us, and it was, well, are you sure you want to help us? And yes, we do. For instance, we just made a donation so that the counties outside of the St. Cloud area and in central Minnesota, they are now able to have these weather apparatuses that they can get right the second weather, so they know what's going on with the weather. So let's say you're having a parish celebration and all of a sudden it looks weird, you know exactly what's happening that second, so that you can better come on in. You can better tell your community and what we need to do. So those are things that we do. We also we put on a dinner and a celebration awards night for our first responders. We're on our 4th year, and there's awards that we give. We bring in a speaker. We let them come in. They come in, invite them +1 for dinner, drinks, and a night to celebrate them. If you're interested in joining, we love public to be a part of it. So there's a lot of work to be done with our foundation, but we're very proud to say we have our legacy house on the south side. And then we also opened up 1010, which is on the southeast side. And those two houses are very unique or very similar to each other. So our officers that work out of there actually run youth programs. So they are connecting with the youth, and it's so fun because it's the legacy has been around since 2017. And we have kids that have grown up there now. And 2 years ago, there were 10 of the kids that were hired to work in the house in the summer and to be to actually help run the programs that are happening there. And then some of them went on to school, and 2 of them that went on to school in the middle of the year decided that they are going to now become police officers. So it's just, and if you ever needed pickup in your day, go there in the afternoon when the kids are coming off the bus, and they'll have ice cream Tuesday. It's not about ice cream. It's about where's Officer Sarah, where's Officer Deborah, and they're connecting, and it is absolutely amazing the work that is being done out of there. So I couldn't be more proud of that. However, the thing that you have to understand with our community outposts, it's not just plug and play. So, okay, let's just put this here and let's put this here and this, and no. What we discovered, and this has been, I think it's now 6 years, they went back and they've been doing, they did a study, and they identified that on the east side, it is a clinic desert. So because of it, what is also over there? The ER. So if people call, their tendency is they end up in the ER, which we all know, except yesterday at 6 o'clock, it was empty. But normally it is completely full. And it's hard. It's hard on our healthcare. It's hard on our officers, our first responders. They're being called all the time to respond. And so we have partnered, our foundation has partnered with St. John's, St. Ben's, nurse practitioners, Centricare, Project Heal, and created a new and a different community outpost, which is our Salem Clinic. And so this is where do you have any questions for me on the foundation itself? So the foundation, we raise the dollars, we build the relationships, we created the relationship with Salem, identified the space, we remodeled it. So we're raising all the money to make that happen. Our partners are coming in. Now they will run the clinic, and then our mental health resource officers or team will also be housed out of there, as well as Benton County will be coming in. WIC will be in. I'm going to let you talk about all of that if you have that in your presentation. I don't know if you do, but we'll just let Sarah take over. So Sarah is, and honestly, I'm just going to let you introduce yourself because it'll be best. Okay, we just recently met. Yeah. So any questions for me?
Is the mental health aspect of do you call them composts? Or I know this one's called a community outpost, is that?
They're all community outposts, but the police officers named theirs the COP, Cop House. So they have their branding and the whole thing, and which is awesome and it's good. But they all are community outposts, and then we're with the name Salem right now because and to be perfectly honest, if somebody wanted to come in and name the clinic after their business or their personal name, we're more than happy to welcome them in. So good question
about the mental health. Is that connected to the officers, or is that
yes,
one of your
that is in one of the slides, right? We'll talk about that. And I have pamphlets on it, so
okay.
I think that's part of I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so if we don't answer that, we'll get into that a little bit more.
So where does your funding come from?
It's individuals, businesses, a couple of our big donors, Subaru does Share the Love. So in the fall, when you buy your Subaru through Subaru, they donate a portion of their sales. And in the last 3 years, we've averaged over $100,000 from them. Jacob's Swing for Charities, they have an event every year, and we've been the recipients the last 3 years, and that averages over $40,000. We are now starting to, with our dinner, we're selling sponsorships so people can donate. So you can actually buy a ticket and join us, and then your ticket will pay for 2 of our first responders' meals. Or you can be a sponsor, and then those individual dollars will go in. So and then Schlenner Winter wrote us a check this last fall for $50,000. So and we have a vast number of people that are donors. We get $50 checks in the mail. Any and every donation is welcomed and received, and it can be, general fund is best because now we can allocate the dollars where need be. But then we do have people who, like, one of our programs is Women of Worth, and our officers have 9 young ladies that they bring through every year, and it's a year-long course, and they teach them about leadership and leadership and communication and skills. And Santa just loves that. And so every year they make a donation to that specific program. So, yeah.
Any government funding?
Great question. So our yes and no, we will write for some grants, but we actually, Klobuchar secured a federal fund for us to do the remodel on the 1010 project. And federal funding is tricky. So as a foundation, we stepped back from that and gave that money back to the city, and the city actually are the ones that did the work on and created the remodel. And the amount of dollars that were there only allowed them to redo the outside and the top floor, where if we would have had those dollars, because you don't have to do prevailing wages, we could have done the whole project. So it's true. I mean, you were very grateful. So now we come in, the city they own that building, and we lease from them. And now we're looking for a donor to come in, donors to help us finish off the basement. So now we can have a room for our kids to come in and have their activities. So that's a great question. Anything else? Okay, then I'm gonna step out of here. Oh, not really. I'm just gonna step aside. Let Sarah take.
I'm just gonna mention to those of you who are PowerPoint connoisseurs that you'll notice it's not in presentation mode. If I hit presentation mode, it disappears from that screen. I have no idea why. We'll figure it out some other time. But that's why we're doing it this way.
Well, thank you. My name is Sarah. I'm a graduate student with the College of St. Benedict, St. John's University. I'm actually a family nurse practitioner, but then I've been helping with the Salem Clinic Community Outpost. My dissertation or thesis, my final project will be on social determinants of health. So just making sure that we're meeting the need of that community and, St. Cloud in general. Yeah, next slide, please. I can actually go to the next one. So then there was an undergraduate student that had done some work this summer too, and then just with the nursing faculty and staff, we'd put together a mission and vision of Salem Clinic. So grounded in the values of compassion, inclusion, social justice, and service to others, the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University faculty-led clinic promotes the health of communities across the St. Cloud area by providing free, compassionate, and culturally responsive health screenings, education, basic care, working on addressing barriers such as cost, transportation, language, and access, foster care for all. And then it's a teaching clinic. So it's a two-way street. It's really nice because it provides, healthcare services to the community, just meeting that need because we know there's a shortage of providers, especially primary care providers. So there can be really long wait times for people to getting in for primary care or even just follow-up. But then providing a clinical site for nurse practitioner students and even the undergraduate students, that can be really challenging. And so right now, the undergraduate nursing students are there 2 days a week. They're there Monday and Wednesday afternoons from 1 until 4. And so they're doing blood pressure screenings, diabetic screenings. I'm not sure what else. I apologize, I don't have that flyer with me. And then starting this week, some of the nurse practitioner faculty will be there one afternoon in a week as well. So they'll alternate between Monday and Wednesdays, and again in the afternoon from 1 until 4. And so just gonna be doing some more kind of urgent care type visits, just seeing what patients are coming in for and, you know, figuring out what the needs are gonna be. And then not this week, but the week after, there will be nurse practitioner students there as well. And so I've been working on getting some over-the-counter medication samples to provide to patients. We'll be working on writing prescriptions as needed, trying to figure out, besides using GoodRx or discount for medication, where we can have some prescriptions filled for patients that are free or low cost. You can go to the next slide, please. And so like Jennifer was saying, it's a collaboration in the community. So the Greater Safety Foundation, community paramedics and social workers, and both undergraduate and graduate nursing students. There will be police officers on site when we're there, volunteers. And again, we're also working with Center Care as part of Project Heal. And then some members of the Salem Community Church want to volunteer as well. I know they have a retired registered nurse that's interested in volunteering, and some other members have expressed interest in volunteering as well. Slide, please. Well, this is just kind of reiterating what I was already saying, that it's just an interdisciplinary approach. Right now, it's going to be just the nursing students. And then I know you had mentioned too that eventually, I don't know if it's going to be Benton County, because where the outpost is, I think it's either in or it's really close to all 3 counties that we're in.
Yeah, so that is a unique piece of our foundation, which we're excited too, because honestly, each house is in a different county. So our legacy is in Stearns, our 1010 is in Sherburne, which has been extremely well received because the office is in Elk River. So this gives an outlet for our high volume Sherburne County members to be able to access that community outpost. And they've been extremely busy. And then our east side or Salem location is in Benton County. And they've already expressed interest as far as partnering and coming over to have office hours as well.
Yeah.
So we're very excited about that piece too.
Yeah, and just having that public health component too, as far as what they can offer the, you know, patients that we're seeing over there. And then you said too, doing, like some prenatal care visits with women, infants and children too. So again, right now we're just doing point of care testing. So doing like a hemoglobin A1C for diabetes. And then we're working on getting viral testing. So like COVID, influenza, rapid streps, I think urine testing too. And then again, to just really making sure that we're connecting community members to the resources that they need. If they're needing more than what we're able to provide, you know, additional lab work or imaging, figuring out where we can send them and making sure that they're able to get to those appointments too. Next slide, please. And I think this just talks about the role of the RN students. So for the Bachelor of Nursing degree, part of the requirement is doing community health or public health nursing. And so that's what the focus is. And they're just doing assessments and health screening, just educating in chronic disease management. And when they say lifestyle choices, they're just talking about modifications. So again, the example of high blood pressure, what can we have people doing besides medication to help lower blood pressure, and then just connecting to resources. So one of the things that the undergraduate student had done this summer too was just put together a binder of community resources. Some of that information was obtained from Center Care, and that was really helpful. So just knowing for both the RN students and the nurse practitioner students, what's available in St. Cloud and how to connect them with those resources. So next slide, please. So the nurse practitioner students are gonna be under supervision of one of the nurse practitioner faculty. It just talks about doing physical exams, health assessments and screening, again, with the point of care testing. Formulate diagnoses, plan of care and treatment recommendation, and then providing patient teaching and education. And then she just talked about the schedule too, and it's gonna alternate. So 1 week they'll be there Monday afternoon, and then the next week it would be Wednesday afternoon. But the undergraduate students are there 2 days a week, Monday and Wednesdays from 1 to 4. There's no appointments, people can just walk in. Next screen, please. And then it just talks about the benefits, like with the graduate and undergraduate students. The skills, so building clinical skills, strengthening cultural competence, and developing competence. Next slide, please. And then, so if anyone is interested in volunteering there, we actually, at this point in time, are required to go through Centricare. So if you go to their website, there's, I don't remember how I found it, but I think I just did a general search for volunteer, and there's an application that you fill out. And then they sent me an email in response saying that I have to schedule a phone interview with them, and then there's a orientation process that you go through before you're able to volunteer through them.
Have you partnered with RSVP to find volunteers?
And that,
Senior volunteer program,
We are speaking with,
Jennifer?
actually Sue.
Okay.
And, so we're starting to build that relationship. Yes, so thank you.
next slide, please. And then again, to just the collaboration with Centricare. And so Project HEAL stands for Health, Education, Access, and Link. So Centricare already has several established Project HEAL sites, and that is usually 1 day a month, and it depends on the location as far as the date and time. I know they've got a couple here in St. Cloud. They have 1 or 2 in Long Prairie. It's something that when I worked for public health in Todd County that we would attend. And so just again, providing free healthcare and then connecting patients with community resources. Next slide, please. Okay, actually go to the last one. Then I think the last slide just talks about.
Yeah. And I'll pass these out. So this is actually the mental health resource team that will be working alongside our nurses and nurse practitioners. And the one that's not on here is we have a therapy dog, River, and I should be front and center. This is so cute. But did you want to talk about that, their team?
You certainly can.
Oh, okay, so like I said, in our other 2 houses, we have the community outreach team. Sorry, I'm not foggy today. There's so many different, our officers have so many different, there's acronyms for everything, and I'm like, who is this, what is it? But, so the team that's working out of, Legacy and 1010, like I said, their focus is community involvement and then working with the youth and having youth activities. And, there is a goal that we do eventually run youth activities out of Salem location, but at this time, our main focus is the clinic. And then, like I said, we have the mental health response unit is going to be working out of there, which also gives us the social workers and your paramedics. And this team is actually, and I wish I had the statistics for this, but their call rate has been astronomical through the roof. And then as their we feel with working with the clinic and this team, we will be able to reduce those calls. So if you ever hear our police chief speak on this matter, what he talks about is it's called wraparound care. So people call because they don't know what else to do, so they're calling for help, they don't know how to get help, they don't know where to go. And like I said, oftentimes they end up in the ER because that's the only location that they can be taken, right? And so if you're able to give them their basic needs and or identify what path they need to take, which is what we're hoping, and we're hopeful that this will happen through the clinic, that we can reduce those calls even more. And we were actually we had a donation given to us last year. And the officer won an award for his work with the homeless and keeping them, the encampments off of the railroad and keeping everyone safe. And so the railroad actually donated monies to this officer's award. And we used that money to purchase River, the therapy dog, who will now be a part of this whole unit. So when the clinic is open, River will be there as well to help people with that potentially may have anxiety or just well, who really likes to go to the doctor, right? Yeah, I mean, we love you, but. So, and then we just continue, when you ask, you know, are we working to get the senior volunteers? And I was sharing earlier, we just had a meeting with the mobile food chef, which will now be coming there in their bus the first Wednesday of every month. So we're, you know, that's another partner that we're building with. And so we're just continually, and if you hear Tad talk about this, we're throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what's gonna stick. So what it looks like today may be completely different in a year. We're unsure. We don't know. We opened the clinic, I think this coming Wednesday is our first official opening for the clinic date. Are we gonna have one person? Are we gonna have a line around the corner? We don't know. But we do know that our nursing students have been out already building connections in the community. And instead of just opening the doors and expecting people to come in, they're doing the work and actually going into the apartment buildings that are located near and around the clinic. And they're already building those relationships and letting them know that this is available and these things are happening. They've done, I believe, some education classes already, and just building those relationships. So it's a safe place to come. And we're very hopeful that it's just going to continue to grow, and then these guys got to figure out how to staff it more, and so we're going to continue to build and to really help our community. But we don't do this alone. We don't do this alone, and neither do our nurses and nurse practitioners. Neither does Centricare. Neither does our police officers, our mental health resources. We do this as a community. And it's all of us pulling together. It's you learning about what we're doing. It's you sharing what we're doing. It's getting that word out. It's let's be loud about the good things that are happening in this town and in our city and in the communities, because we are doing really good work. And we choose to come together to make it happen. And I wake up every day with a smile because I'm so proud of our work, and to have this unique piece, and then as a foundation, we're like, okay, what's next? Where's next? What area needs something else, and what is that going to look like? And to now have the opportunity to have a clinic, which is very different from our first two homes, is just so exciting.
I know it hasn't happened yet, but could you describe from the client's perspective, what they can anticipate? What will they need for paperwork? What kind of information are you gonna ask? Like you said, it's first come, first served, no appointment.
Yeah, so it's gonna be different than traditional clinic, just in the sense that, you know, if you go to Centricare for a traditional clinic, they've got a computer and it's all electronic. there's intake forms. It's all gonna be paperwork. So I would just tell anyone coming in, any medications that they're taking already. So that we know what they're on and just their health history. That'll be really helpful for both the undergraduate students, but then the nurse practitioners when they see them too.
And are you gonna have access to their records at all?
I don't believe so. I think if they have any previous records, they'd have to get paper copies. Which I know could be challenging.
Yeah, but again, that's how we're starting. We don't know where that's gonna take us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You touched on this a little bit. I was curious about how people find out about you. You did touch on that a little bit by the kind of on the ground effort about the nursing students connecting in the apartment buildings. I'm sure word of mouth will do a lot, but are you doing anything else about letting the community know you're there?
Yeah, we were out at Festival, when was that, about 2 weeks ago? Yeah, and so some of the undergraduate students were there and we were doing free blood pressure screenings and then really just word of mouth, handing out information, letting patients or, the community know that it exists, where it is, what our hours are.
Are you gonna have interpreters for Somali and Spanish?
Yes, that is the plan. I don't know what is in place at this point in time, because I don't, yeah. That's a good question, but I know there's definitely going to be a need.
And the other thing is, one of our officers, Officer Clark, he works, in that area, he's the HRA officer. I probably said that wrong, but he works directly in all of the low income houses. And so he also is, working to help get the word out. So it's a lot of boots on the ground right now. And again, as it evolves and we move forward, I think you'll hear more about it and its availability, but we are taking it slow, even though when we were all in a room together, we all want to run and then we ran. But so you could just feel the energy. It's so cool. And then everybody just kind of, okay, what? And we have to take baby steps because I think that's very important. And then I tell when we're all together, my word is we need to stay fluid because it's moving. So it will evolve and it will change, right? And so everyone has been very gracious with that and we've all been just working so hard together to make this move forward and we're very excited for the opening day. And you're welcome to come.
I have a question. I've been trying to listen carefully to all you've been saying. And it says on here, mental health response, but yet you're talking about doing blood pressures and things. Does this involve physical health issues too?
Yes,
So it could be mental health, or if they're not feeling well and they can't get into a clinic or something, they can come here,
yes,
be looked at. Okay,
Yeah.
that was my question. So it's not just mental health, it's health issues of any kind.
yes.
Yeah, because and that's where the partnership is so good. This is a mental health resource team that we have in our community today. And now they're coming in, they literally have an office. So, and you guys, everyone is always welcome for tours. You know how to get a hold of me if you want to bring a bunch of people over. I'm happy to tour all 3 houses. So you have an idea of what they actually look like. And you would see that they have a space, it's about half of this. And this is where they will house out of. The other nice part is this space allows our officers that are patrol officers, they can come and get into this space and actually use this as if they need an office space or they need to take a break or they want to have their lunch times there. So again, you're going to see a higher volume of police officers in that area, which also is comforting to most people. So, and I have seen that. I live on the southeast side, so our 1010 house that just opened this summer. And so I'm seeing patrol officers more and more, and rumor has it,
not a rumor, I guess, that our area has become the safest area in St. Cloud right now. And I've lived there for almost 30 years, and to hear that is very exciting. And so to put it in perspective, Munsinger Gardens, and then I think everyone knows where Munsinger Gardens is on Killian, so just go 2 blocks to the east and north, and that's where this house is located. So it's not very far off of, Killian and University.
So this mental health team will actually be housed there?
With River the dog,
And, and,
German, he's a lab, I think. I'm not a dog person. He's cute. I think it's a lab. He's a golden lab. He is a golden lab. He's a golden lab. Yes, I know that. I'm terrible. If it was a cat, I can tell you.
Does St. John, St. Ben's have capacity to increase the clinic hours if needed?
That's one of our goals, yes.
Okay.
Like you said, this is, still very new, evolving, and yeah, our hope is to be able to be there more than just, 2 days a week for a couple hours.
How many students are in your program?
I think they take 120 per year. I don't know how many are in the current cohort. There's 4 undergraduate students that are there currently, and I don't know if it'll be 4 or 6 graduate students that'll be there at a time.
it's a huge benefit
Mhm.
for your program. to have a place like that. I'm sure it's hard to find places for them to get through their rotations.
It is.
And then, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, no,
No.
I was only going to make an observation. Whatever names you may add for big donors or anything, I wouldn't be quick to lose the Salem. That's an incredibly important concept, both for the Christian community, for the Jewish community,
Yeah.
and for the Muslim community. I mean, their habitual greeting is salam, or
Yeah.
however.
Salam.
And so it's just an important concept, and having, as I said, been a teacher, I could talk for 40 minutes about this, so I'll stop.
No, they are, they're huge partners, and that's, and they're actually partners. They are partners with us. And so, and when you talk about the Salem, we have a sign from them that will be in our entrance from them. And so, no, we're excited to figure out how that partnership is going to continue to grow, and what is that going to look like. So again, that throwing the spaghetti, there's a lot of components that, they come back here a year from now, what will it be? So yes, they are beautiful partners with us. Mhm, absolutely. Yes.
Just have comments, not questions, but for Jennifer on the public safety. I think the area of public safety you're working on is just the most complex piece of it that there is. And it's gonna take, if it were easy, it would have been conquered a long time ago. So I think your multifactorial approach is the way to go. So keep throwing spaghetti and see what sticks. And Sarah, with some of us are getting older, and there's lots of health issues that come with getting older, and there is a shortage of everything, mental health for sure, but
Yes.
everything else besides. And I swung through Centricare Plaza on purpose yesterday just to see the building and things going there with the new medical school and whatnot, but we need the registered nurses, we need the nurse practitioners, the physician's assistants, the MDs. We need all of that. So being able to work together and get that experience and help on the public safety, that's wish you both the best.
Yeah, it is very, very exciting, and just 2 comments on that, so thank you. The one of the aspects of our community outposts or cop houses that this the team that works there, and actually, they have the Women of Worth, Fishing with Cops. soccer, they take them swimming, they have school classes, there's so many activities that they do. And, those officers, when they're not working with the students or the kids, they are out apprehending very high level criminals. So that is red zone, as they talk about. And now they can be in the green zone, and just look at that balance. I get goosebumps. So we talk about mental health. If we don't take care of our first responders, whom we 911 can just call whenever we need, right? And they're there for us. If we don't take care of them, how can they be there for us? And so programs like this and partnerships like this can only benefit the whole, correct? And so for me, that is extremely exciting. And, and I joked about the ice cream day, but the smiles on our officers' faces and the joy that they receive from these wild little kids and big kids is just amazing. And so I think that is really neat. And I think this having the mental health response team, having such strong partnerships with the nurses and nurse practitioners right there together in the community that truly needs this help. Like, that is helping them stay in that middle zone as well, and not always in that red. And again, keeping them healthy so that they can help us stay healthy is also important. And then the other thing, I just need to share this with, there were two of the nursing students that have already gone through and done work at the Salem Clinic, and now they're done already, and they're going on to their next little thing. But last night, so when I was joking about the ER not being full at 6 o'clock, is because I met my dad at 6 o'clock, because he had to go back he went to the ER again and then was admitted to the hospital. So at midnight, we're going up to his room, and this young gal walks past me, and it's been a long day, and she's like, "Hi." And I'm like, "Hi." And we go in his room, and then pretty soon she comes back in, and I look at her and go, "I'm supposed to know you." And she looks at me, she goes, "Jen, I'm Paige. I was at Salem." And I was like, so she was one of the nursing students that I had met several times. And I looked at her and go, "Oh my gosh." And she goes, "I know so we kind of laughed about it. And I go, "Well, you're supposed to be at Salem. I'm not supposed to be here." So we were just laughing, but what a connection, right? And then I was able to tell my dad all about the Salem and her work. And it was a nice way to end a very hectic evening. And so again, look at that, the connecting and the impact. And she didn't have to remember me. And I just thought that was really neat. So I'm very proud to say that we're partnering with St. John's, St. Ben's, Central Care, Salem, and who am I missing? Project Heal, and our mental health resource team, and the community, and we're gonna make a difference. We already are.
I think that's not to be negative, but
Do you have a question? Ethan?
well, I was, as I was sharing with you, Sarah, earlier, I just see such a benefit to longevity being in the community, and I'm concerned that these nursing students are gonna be there for a short time and then gone. So that when
You
you come
mean
back,
working in it and then going, or what do you mean?
that student that's there right now is probably not gonna be there in March.
No, because that's their class, right? It's a
Correct.
class.
And that's just a concern I have.
For the
I see that-
patients?
Yes, I
Okay.
see there being goodness in familiarity,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I do intake at the food shelf, and I see the same people month
Mhm.
after month, and I don't have to say, "Have you been here before? Can I see your ID?" You know, I know them, and it's just a whole different thing than, okay, I'm a brand new nursing student, and I'm gonna take information about you that someone else just did 2 months ago.
So that's where our volunteers can come into play, so
Yeah.
such as yourself, so you're the person that they meet at the door every single time, right?
And or we're always going to have like Jennifer and Mary and
Correct.
Mary, there's a lot of Marys and Rachel. They will always be consistent. And then the students themselves will rotate through, but we will always have that consistency. This team will always stay consistent. River will maybe bring his brother in, but not only. They have way too much fun together.
And I,
But-
yeah, and I can make that suggestion. I know when I was a nurse practitioner student, working in primary care, I could look at the charts ahead of time and just making that recommendation that they get there early and they review charts so that they know, can give kind of an idea of the patient and what they've been in for before, but, cause that can help too.
Sorry.
I don't think that, and you made a comment about it being negative. That is not negative, because those are things that we have to hear too.
Yeah.
Because then can we make a change and
Yeah.
can we, yes, it is. I love it.
Anything else? Well, thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
It's so exciting to hear about. So glad you were here.
Yeah, so we are at. If you put it to work, let me know. You did great. Yeah, a hand for our IT.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, did you? Okay, perfect. I was like, any question?
Right.
I switched over, I got them drinking some Thursday today. So you're at the.
With the trans deal with it.
Yeah.
The biggest, I still remember the biggest problem.
Personal experience, but I
Living in a traffic.